Hello and welcome to a video from filmsbychris.com. That's Chris with a K. I'm Chris with a K. Check out my website, link in the description. Today we're going to be, scraping websites again, but this time we're actually going to do stuff in the web browser using JavaScript. This is a good way to get started sometimes if there's some more complex stuff. We're looking at Quizlet, which is a website where people can submit questions and answers and flashcards. And it's user-driven, but they also make it very hard for you to pull that information. So they expect users to give them information, but giving it back is a little bit more difficult, but not too difficult. In the last video, we did it all from the shell, just using curl and some sed and grep commands, and we were able to pull all that information that we needed. But let's say for some reason you couldn't figure it out, all right? So you couldn't find any JSON and looking directly at the HTML didn't help you. Sometimes if this is happening, it means the website's trying very hard to hide stuff from you, which is annoying. But if you were able to use JavaScript, which can be done, we're going to do it right in the developer console today. But you can also write web extensions for any Chrome-based browser. Firefox has similar things. There's also GreaseMonkey and WebMonkey, and then there's some Node.js tools, all using JavaScript. So what we do today in the developer console is a way to get going, and then you can pretty much take that code and with a little bit of change, put it into a plugin to automate it, right? So first things first, I'm in a private tab here. And I'm not logged in. That's going to become important here in a minute. Now, if I go here, this is a script that I wrote. All I have to do is paste it in here. I'm under console. So again, I hit F12 to open up the developer's console. If you don't have F12, you can always right click on anywhere on the page and say inspect. It'll bring you there. And then we'll click over here on console. So this is my script. There'll be a link to this in the video. But basically what this is going to do, and there might be a better way to do this, but this is the way I came up with when I first went through this. This is going to flip through all the cards and grab each question. The first thing, this first little section is going to add a text area to the top of the page. And then as it flips through the cards, it's actually going to format and dump each question and the answer of the flashcards into that text file that I can then copy and paste. So let me go ahead and run that and show you why I'm in private mode first. Let's see if this happens like I think it's going to happen. Yeah. So after 9 questions, it gets to the 10th question, it's asking you to sign up. Okay, we didn't have to do that using our bash because there's some JavaScript here saying when you get to the 10th card, show this message. This website, it's free to create an account, use a burner email address, whatever, create an account. Let's go ahead, close the private tab. Here I am, same test, 51 questions. I'll hit F12 to open up the developer console and, let me get my code again real quick. This is it up on Pastebin. There'll be a link in the description so you can copy and paste it yourself. And then I will just paste it into here. And let's get rid of this tab. Now, if I hit enter, okay. So it's created a large text area at the top of the page. Now it's flipping. If I scroll down, you'll actually see it flipping through each card. And it's grabbing the information, formatting it, and then putting it into here. And again, I set this up. I designed this to be some HTML that I have CSS to go with to make it look nice. But let me quickly walk you through this. I'm sorry about the size of the text. I'm not sure. There's probably a way to increase the font in here. Maybe if I just show it to you on here, I can. There we go. Okay. So this is the code. I am creating a new object. I'm creating a new element. It's a text area. I'm saying it to have 50 rows, and I'm saying the CSS style to width 100. And then I am checking the body of the page, and I'm prepending to the top of the page that text area. So doing that. Then I am creating a timer, set interval. This is going to loop over and over again. I set it to 200, which is what, 1/5 of a second for it to flip each card. As we saw in a previous video, all this stuff is already loaded. It's not pulling it from anywhere once the page is loaded, so I could probably go faster, but that's plenty fast. What am I doing then? It's going to loop. What's it going to do? We're going to search the whole document, and we're going to query select, and we're going to look for something with an attribute of area label arrow right. So if I go back to the page over here and refresh this page so we can see the cards again, I want to be able to click this next button. So I'm going to right click this, say inspect, and it brings me to here. And you can see that this has area label arrow right. So I'm finding this arrow right here, right? So once I do that, let me go back to here and make this full screen. I'm finding that. I'm going to check, did we find it? Okay. If it equals null, meaning we did not see the arrow, then we're going to clear the timer and exit. Return will just exit. Because when we get to the end, the last flashcard, there's no next button. But if we don't do this, it's going to keep trying to click to the next page and it won't be able to do it. And not a big deal. You get a bunch of errors in the console, but it's not going to hurt anything. But it's better to check. So it's saying, is there a next arrow? If not, clear the timer. Basically just stop. Okay? So now we're going to find the cards. Okay? So we're going to look at the document. And again, the card itself, if we go back over here and I right click on here and I say inspect element and I went up enough tags, what we'll find is something with a card, an attribute of data test ID card. So I'm setting that. And then the card has a front and a back. So now I'm saying, okay, the question text is going to be the first card in this array because we're saying select all, which means there's going to be multiple of them. It's going to find 0, the first one, and then it's going to look at its first child and then the second child of that. There might be a cleaner way to do that. And then I'm saying inner text, which means remove the HTML and only show me the text. That's going to be our question. Now, some questions and answers might have new line characters in them. I want everything on one line. So here what I'm doing is I'm using the replace command on the question we just found to remove any new line characters, but not just remove them. I'm going to replace them with a BR tag, which is a line break tag in HTML, because my end output I want to be HTML, but you can format it however you would like. Now we're going to look at the cards again. We're going to look at, in that array, the children, the second one, which is number 1. And then we look at its children, like so, and grab its text. And that's the answer. Again, if it's multi-line, replace any new line characters with line breaks. Next, we're going to set the text area value that we created up at the top of the page, right? We created that big text box, that text area. We're going to plus equal, meaning take whatever it already has in it and add to it. And again, I'm formatting this as HTML. I'm saying this is a div tag with a class of questions. Again, this is just for my project in particular. You can format this however you want. Then we're going to input the question text, which we got up here. So we're doing backticks here so that we can throw variables in here. Then I'm doing a horizontal line break and then another div with a class of answer. And then we're putting the answer. Then we're closing our div tags and saying new line. Next, we're going to get the button. Earlier, we got the next arrow. The button is actually its parent. So we're going to look at that next arrow that we found, get its parent, and then click it. And then a fifth of a second later, loop through it again. So again, if I come back here, I hit F12, I can come in here. Once you've put the code in there, you can go through your history by hitting up, but of course you save it somewhere. And I'm doing it right here, which is fine if you just need to do it once or twice. If this is something you're going to do repeatedly, you can take this code, and it's really not that hard to create a plugin for your browser, or an extension for your browser, I guess is the correct wording. There's also Grease Monkey I've played around with a little bit, WebMonkey, which is a similar thing. You can also do things from the shell using, Phantom? Was that the Node.js one? There's a few of them that you can do things in the shell, and I could do that. If you're interested in that sort of thing, tell me in the comments below. Thing is, those shell options that will render out JavaScript are still launching a web browser, either Firefox or a Chrome browser. You tell it which one you want. It's actually launching it headlessly. It's still there. You don't see it. Everything looks like it happens in the shell, but you still need, as far as I know, a display running. If you're running a server that doesn't have Xorg running, or I guess Wayland running or something like that, those things will not work. There might be a flag you can pass to override that. I'm just letting you know. But JavaScript is JavaScript, whether it's Node.js, in the console here, in an extension. But again, I click this and it runs through it all fairly quickly. And again, it's flipping through them. I can scroll up and you can see as they go in there. And in this particular case, I can copy all this when I'm done. You can also have the output go to the console, but I just wanted something very easy where I can just click in here, Control A, Control C, and I have it copied now. And I can paste it into a file, which I have some CSS already attached to make it look nice. Again, there will be a link in the description to this code here. You can go, download it, use it, play around with it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer. So I'm just showing you different options. Most of the time, if you're web scraping, things can seem complicated because you look at a page and it's all dynamic and JavaScript is doing things after the page loads. Most of the time, unless the developer of the site is really trying to hide stuff from you, you can go to that network tab and find the data you're looking for without the need of any of the JavaScript. So I get questions like, how do you do it on a website that has JavaScript? How do you render the JavaScript in your shell? You don't. You try to find the information from where, if there's JavaScript running, it's grabbing it from somewhere. And you just need to backtrack it and find where it's grabbing it from. I have been to websites where they actually have it encoded in base 64. But once you find that base 64, again, base 64 is encoding, not encryption. Once you find that, you can just pull that with wget or curl and pipe it into base 64 decode, and you'll get all the information you need, and you can pull it from there. Stuff like that. It's just a matter of each page doing things a little differently. That's why it's nice when you can just find some nice JSON information already formatted. As always, I thank you for watching. Please visit filmsbychris.com. That's Chris with a K. All the links are in the description of this video. I hope that you have a great day.